So the big question is this: how do investors like us who don't have a PhD in finance or millions to start investing, how do we grow our bank accounts to build real savings and retirements and yet still have the time to do what we really love? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. Hey guys, this is John. Welcome to the Stock Market Series podcast. It's been a while. It really has. I slowed down a little bit once everything started, exploding, and it's just been such a crazy time. But more recently, like in the past 3 weeks or so, I've really kind of been venturing into some really nice, highly leveraged currency markets and crypto markets. And it's cool, Rex. It's like this double-edged sword where you start with equities, and then you move into options, and you have like that initial leverage, and then you move like once you understand and can manage that risk. Really, the next step, at least for me, and I think for most people, is more leverage. And I'm looking at positions right now that have like 100x or 1000x leverage. And these are the kinds of positions where you see like random people on YouTube that are like, turn $8 into $1 million or something. And it's like stupid because it's like, it's dumb luck until you actually learn the process and then systemize it. And then, I mean, it's not easy. I blew up 3 accounts so far. But I mean, I've had some of the first positions where just within like 4 hours or a day, I'm up 1,000%, and that's I've never been there before. It's usually taken weeks to get to that point, and it's really cool. A lot of it is in like some regulation. It's like a little bit of a murky water in terms of the companies that do this kind of stuff. So until it's more mainstream, I can't talk about it too much, just because I kind of want to like keep my company not like audited, because that would be, well, I'm reporting everything, right? But there's just so many registration hassles with some of these exchanges, and it's like literally weeks of work it's really interesting. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Again, I just kind of started with that. But I was kind of taking this this program today, this dive course, and they're talking about kind of the habits of good divers, and how you need to know what you're doing and then consistently do that. And what's interesting is there's this one, you have to like read a chapter in a book and then take a quiz and then do that like 500 times, and then you can take the pool training and whatever. And there was this one question that they had, and it said, under stress, people tend to do what they do by habit, and it's totally true. And it's really interesting. I'm learning a lot of like nuances and a lot of the strategies and the techniques for highly leveraged currency markets and investing in them right now. And it is really just insane, because some of these positions, they move against you by like 0.1%. And you get liquidated. You lose 100% of your investment. I mean, it's insane. And so it is, I'd say without a doubt, the highest pressure environment you could possibly be in. When the difference between there was this position, I think it was USD COD, AUD COD, and I mean the thing moved like 0.8%. You multiply that by 1,000, and it's like, well, it's like 800%, right? And yes, anyway, and so you got like this upside, right? But you also have to be really careful with your entry points. Like your entries have to be on point, because if they're not, like, you're gone, right? It's done. You lose all your money, and so I think that definitely qualifies as a high stress situation. And what I've kind of realized over the past month and a half or so is I'm really trying to fine tune, like, what do you do in terms of stop losses? Because currency markets, I mean, it kind of depends on the currency market, and that's a little bit deeper. With Bitcoin specifically, I've noticed a lot more like, excuse me, volatility as you get into the position, and so it makes it really tough to set stop losses, because you get stopped, and then there are a couple other like exchange fees you have to kind of deal with, and it can just destroy your account. I mean, it's pretty crazy. But when you like actually kind of understand what you do, and you make it a habit to execute trades at the highest quality possible, by constantly and perpetually using limit orders, which I gotta say, sometimes is hard to do, especially in high volatility. So it kind of depends. On some exchanges, you can use market orders and you'll be fine with it. Others, not so much. So you have to kind of know that. But my point is that you want to have. So there's two kinds of trades, especially in currency markets, because I'm looking here at this chart, and it's over the past 2 days, and like for 70% of the chart, it's like prolonged consolidation. And it's basically like a head and shoulder setup, and then in the middle where there was the head. Excuse, is where I made just a ton of money because I was holding into this at plus 1,000%, and then within like 40 minutes, it went up another 10%, which is another 100x leverage, another 1,000%, so 2,000%, and then like 2 hours later, it dropped literally 20% in like 15 minutes, and then it came back up to where the head and shoulder was. And so in the span of like 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 5, I think it was 5 days, I held this position. It went up 20,000%, then out, and then in the span of like 15 minutes, it goes down 20,000 or 20%, which is 2,000%, and it's just insane. And so the low stress environments are like the easy trades, right? So the entry on this was based on a symmetrical wedge on the daily chart and on the weekly chart, or not the weekly chart, the 30-minute chart. There's a symmetrical wedge, right? So I bought on the bottom of the wedge. Whoop-de-doo, it went onto the upside. And a little bit of that was knowing there was a bullish tendency in the market, because usually you buy the breakout. But with this leverage kind of stuff, you have to kind of be more careful, because if you buy the breakout and it goes against you by 1%, you get stopped out. And that's exactly what happened, which is why I had to get the more aggressive bottom entry on the symmetrical wedge. And the point is, like, I literally I put in the order to buy at the support level. And then I went to bed, and I woke up the next morning and I was up like 200%. And it was like super low stress. This is the setup, this is the wedge, and that's it. Contrast that to, hitting target, blowing past the roof, and then in the span of 15 minutes, making the entire amount of money that took me 5 days to make before. Like, that's the high stress environment. And you have to have great habits, because literally the chart looked like this, right? It was 1 minute, next minute, next minute, next minute, next minute. And then 1 minute in Bitcoin, loses 5%. Next minute, loses another 5%. And within like, I think it's 15 minutes, it was so quick. I mean, it was just insanely quick. It was ridiculous. Somebody sold, I guess, hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't know. But anyway, that's where the successful investors are differentiated from the average investors. That's where, if you have sort of the right price levels in your mind, the key support levels, you can put a limit order in, and within like 5 minutes be up like 1,300%. And it's just crazy, right? And that's why it's so critical to work on establishing high quality habits, before stuff like that happens, because if you don't, you're gonna miss the action. I'll leave this out with one final thing. I, recently kind of moved over to my grandparents' house in the Outer Banks for about a month, because school's online and everything's online. My dad's working online, and I'm in their basement, and there's like not like really good Wi-Fi. It's pretty bad Wi-Fi. In the past couple of days, I'd say probably past 48 hours, I probably lost like $1,700 just because I would enter a trade, have a target, it would hit the target, and then reverse. And I couldn't sell out of the trade because my internet would cut out in the middle of the trade. And it was like, I cannot tell you how it pissed me off so much. Lost a lot of money. And so in a normal environment, before I'm in the trade, I wasn't, my habit was to just use the bad Wi-Fi. But under stress, what happens? Anything that can fail will fail. Murphy's Law, right? So it fails, and then I have to pay the price. Costs a lot more than it would cost to get like some kind of power line adapter, which I'm gonna have to do because I need to have a habit of the best possible investing scenario. And I saw that today, and I really 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 connected it with it, and excuse me. I think I'll leave it with this. I had a student today made his first options trade ever, which is awesome. It's Kyle. He got calls in Carnival Cruise, which I think was just so cool. And I think like in a day it went up like 56%. His whole account went up 56%. Um, and I was so proud of him. His first one ever was a success. And excuse me. What I realized is that has been learning about investing in options and trading. I would say easily for over like 2/3 of a year. I mean, I've been trading and sharing stuff with him for, I mean, at least a year plus, and he is only stuck, with equity while he actually, learn the process, learn the system, learn how to invest. And he just made his first options trade ever, and it was amazing, right? It was phenomenal because what he's done is he's created habits of successful investments, then he's executed on those. And so I'm kind of excited to see where he goes. I'm really proud of him. And the reason he succeeds is because over the past couple, past half year of me saying, dude, trade options, just buy this position. He's like set his foot down and said, he said no, because he wasn't ready for it. But now he became ready for it, and he's ready to do it in any environment, including stressful environments. Because if you're not ready for something, you might be able to pull it off in the short term. You might be able to pull it off in an easy bull market. But when things start to go sideways and when conditions change, the real question is, can you do it under stress? And if you have the habits of success, and the answer is yes. But it's just so critical to establish those habits. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you have an amazing day. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Good luck.
Want more stock market secrets? If so, go get your free copy of my best-selling book, 9 to Noon. You can get your free copy plus $11,176 of unannounced bonuses it took me years to uncover, completely for free at 9toNoonSecrets.com. Inside 9 to Noon, you'll find the top 38 secrets you can use to double your portfolio every 2 years and make upwards of 10% per trade daily.